Hey, what's going on, guys? StarLightTCG here, StarLight Frank is myself, and StarLight Matt.
How's it going, guys?
Alright, so here we have the Super Showdown top 8 in Poland. For some reason, we only have 7 deck lists of the top 8. I don't know where the 8th person went, but my guess is maybe it's an Iden that's literally the same as this deck or on other decks. So this is the top 7, I guess, deck list that we have for the first Super Showdown event with 100 or 90 people, 90 or 100 people event. So let's go into this. We have the top 8 Iden deck right here. We don't have the specific place, but the top 4 we do have the specific placement for the deck. So here is just the top 8. I'm guessing maybe like 6th, 7th place, 8th place, around this, around that range. But yeah, what do you think about this deck list?
Yeah, so this is pretty standard for an Iden deck. Nothing out of the ordinary here. We do see the Rooks, obviously, as their 5-drop, and we do see the 1 Dooku, which is pretty interesting. I figure this person really wanted to just straight up defeat units and not have to worry about any of these shielded units we see in play, because they're running 3 defeat a unit card, and the Dooku, the takedowns, and the power of the dark side. What's pretty interesting is this person's not running any overwhelming barrages, which it's a very, very good card, and so I'm kind of assuming they had enough in that mid-range takedown power, and obviously power of the dark side, and then later they'd get access to Dooku. And so yeah, this is a pretty good deck. We have obviously, of course, the sideboard, the 1 Relentless, which is interesting, and the Devastator as well. So yeah, very interesting deck, very standard, besides the no OBs, and it's a good deck.
Yeah, I think very standard. Maybe the person was playtesting Overwhelming Barrage and didn't like it. I guess maybe that could be an option, but they probably prefer playing Rook on that turn 5 instead of, or giving it ECL probably, instead of playing Overwhelming Barrage. So, but yeah, it's pretty good. This person did pretty well with it. So, also they have Make an Opening in the sideboard. Great card, as our previous video, but. Yeah, this deck's pretty good, so we're going to go on to the next one. Alright, we have the next list here. Another Iden deck. But this deck has a lot more cards in it, I see. We have the Overwhelming Mirage we talked about earlier. They have the Traitorous in here. And yeah, Vanquish, Takedown, they have a lot of removal. But yeah, and Make an Opening as well in the main deck. So, what do you think about this list?
I'm counting the amount of cards real quick.
We need to see how many
No,
cards.
it's 50. It's 50.
It's 50. Oh, okay.
This list, compared to our last item we just looked at, obviously we do see the 3 Overwhelming Barrage in this deck list. No main deck of Super Laser Blast. We are main decking the single Traitorous, which is very, very interesting. We got the Dooku as well, 3 Vader, 2 Avenger, another standard kind of Iden deck list, but we do see the 2 main deck Make an Opening, which I like to see a whole lot. Very, very good card. And then, of course, 2 Rooks as going to be that 5-drop ECL, in addition to having Vanquish and Takedown. So this is a very kind of standard Iden deck list like the last one. Couple of the variances there with the OB and the Traitorous. This person's also running the singular Dooku, so I guess that's pretty popular over there in Poland. But yeah, this looks like a very, very good deck list. I would actually probably prefer this one over the last one if I were playing it. I just think Overwhelming Barrage is such an insane card.
Yeah, I think Overwhelming Mirage needs to be played, but I mean he did well without it, so hopefully maybe we can get him on the channel, see what he thinks about. If you're out there watching this video, yeah, if that was your list, please let us know, and maybe we can get you on the channel and talk about it. But yeah, this list is pretty good. You have the Super Laser Blast in the side deck instead of the main. You have the 1 Vigilance in the sideboard, which is pretty interesting. They're paying the 6 for it, maybe. I'm not sure what, maybe just to get the mill, because maybe they're going to late game and hoping to get to like 10, 11 energy, and then just dropping this for game or something through mill. But yeah, maybe for the mirror match.
Yeah, no, I actually think the Vigilance is in there to mill off of their looks off Inferno 4 in the mirror, or off of something where they're stacking the deck with For a Cause, I believe in. I think his Vigilance to take out those combo plays where they're stacking the top of their deck.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and go on to the next list. Alright, we have a top 8 Chewbacca list. Man, it's nice to see this list make the top 8. What do you think about this?
Yeah, so now we're going to be going away from the sort of standard top cut decks you're going to see run out there kind of at these tournaments all the time. This is a top 8 Chewbacca, which is incredible to see. I'm glad we're seeing some play from a leader who doesn't get as much attention as these other leaders get. And this is just a very interesting deck list. Obviously, you can see you got the 3 R2-D2s, 3 Electro Staff, and so this guy's just powering up his early game units. And yeah, it's other than that, it is a pretty standard deck list. We do have the 3 Rogue Squadron over there. Let me say it again, dude. I forget to choke myself that. Yeah, we do have the 3 Rogue Squadron. That's pretty interesting as well. 3 Luke Skywalker, 3 U-Wing and Reinforcement, which is pretty standard for a blue-green deck. And then, of course, the 2 Home 1, which is a very, very good card in its own right. Oh, and also we have the 3 Admiral Akbar, so he knows he's trying to get value out of kind of having a lot of units on one side of the board and being able to do some damage with Akbar. And this is, yeah, just a very, very interesting deck list. We have removal in the form of Takedown and Make an Opening and Vanquish, so we have 9 removal cards. And so this is just a really, really good deck list, and it's like pretty hyped to see. I'm imagining he's definitely sentineling R2-D2 probably in these Battlefield Marine and just kind of getting to that more mid-range to late game and kind of taking some more dominance there, probably waiting for his U-Wing Reinforcement, his Luke Skywalkers, and his Home 1. So this is just an awesome deck list to see. Sideboard, so there's no main deck Yoda. You can see the 3 Yodas in the sideboard, 3 Strike True for more removal, 3 Traitorous, and another Home 1. So this is just an amazing deck list to see.
It seems very consistent. Three of every card pretty much, except for the Home 1. Yeah, dude, this list is so interesting. Like, obviously running the 30 Echo base, not even the ECL, which is very interesting. Probably was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna get to the late game, let me not play, I don't have anything I want to ambush. So pretty interesting list. I'm guessing the combo he's doing is probably Battlefield Marine turn 1, Fleet Lieutenant with Sentinel the next turn, attack with Battlefield Marine for 5. That would be it's pretty good combos. Yeah, but this list seems pretty nice. Probably giving Sentinel to Admiral Akbar as well with Restore, but yeah. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and go on to the next list, which is now we're gonna head into the top 4. And we're starting with the 4th place deck. The 4th place deck is Sabine Command. Yeah, this list looks pretty standard, looks pretty good. What do you think about this list?
Yeah, so coming to the Sabine deck list, everything we see here is very, very standard. We obviously got the red 3s, the green Squadron A-Wing for a causes, the K2s, taking advantage of that U-Wing Reinforcement, which not all green Sabines are running, but probably using it to kind of stack that few, get some Sentinels out there, maybe get a K2, whatever you need in that later stage of the game. And so other than that, yeah, we just know Sabine is obviously a monster. We're going to see Sabine in these top cuts all the time consistently, and this is just a very standard, consistent deck list. Going to the sideboard, though, I do see some very interesting cards in the form of 2 Academy Training. So that's really interesting. We're seeing more upgrades in these sideboards here, which is very, very interesting because that's not really something I've seen played over here at my local tournaments yet. So
yeah, and I also see the Disabling Fang Fighter as well in the sideboard. Pretty interesting. But yeah, this list is pretty nice. Like, I like seeing, obviously I'm a Sabine player, so I love seeing Sabine up here. But Alliance X-Wing too, just having a 2-cost Alliance X-Wing, I guess trying to build up that space for Green Squadron A-Wing, Red 3, Alliance X-Wing, Wing Leader. But then also running the Guerrilla Attack Pod for that late game, probably dealing so much damage to themselves that this guy comes out ready. So, but the U-Wing reinforcements is pretty interesting too. Having the red, probably using it to bring out Sentinels and whatever card they can find in here. Maybe the Fleet Lieutenants to attack again or something like that. But yeah, if anyone watching this video, this is your deck list that you played in Poland, like, go ahead and let us know. Email us if you want to come on. You can do just your thought process on that whole tournament and everything that happened. So, but yeah, let's go on to third place. All right, third place, or another Iden Versio. This list has the one Gideon Hask in it. Pretty interesting. The other Iden list didn't have Gideon Hask, huh?
They had no Gideon Hasks.
Yeah, they had no Gideon Hask in the other list. It's pretty interesting. They're main decking the Escort Skiff as well. It's also interesting. And yeah, pretty much the same list as the other ones. They are running two Devotion, the upgrade, giving a unit Restore 2. That's also pretty interesting as well. What do you think about this list?
Yeah, going into this Iden deck list, we were seeing the main deck Colonel Yularen. That's really interesting to have in the main deck, probably just to get some more healing out there. You heal 1 damage from your base every time you play a command card. That's pretty interesting to have in the main deck. We, of course, see the 1 Gideon Hask and 2 Rook, kind of giving you a variety of different options there. We see the 3 Overwhelming Barrage as well, 2 Vanquish, 3 Takedown, pretty standard. The 2 making openings as well. So I imagine this deck was definitely more of, let me just completely take out your early game units, and I'm going to have more of a mid-range game than I am of the end game, even though I still have the Vaders, Reinforcement Walker, and Avenger. Some of the other Iden decks we saw on this list who didn't place as high, they were running a couple more late game cards, and this player decided to kind of stack that mid-range.
But yeah, this list looks pretty good. Yeah, congrats to these people also for making the top 8 as well, in case we forgot to say that. Yeah, congrats to all of them. But yeah, this list is good. Let's go on to second place. So second place is Boba Fett from what we know. Here it says top 8. Not sure if this is the exact list, but there when I was looking for the top 8, they did say Boba was second place against going against the first place deck, and then the rest follow suit. So I'm just gonna put this as the second place. I'm not sure if this person was second place or just top 8 in general, but yeah, this list also pretty standard Boba Fett deck list. Pretty much nothing out of the ordinary here. What do you think about this one?
Some of the ratios are interesting in here. Only 2 resupply and 3 super laser tech. That's something I usually like to max out. We do see the Consortium Star ship, which gives you Restore 2 if you have the initiative. So that's something Boba players usually do not main deck. So that's a pretty interesting tech choice right there. 3 Waylays in the main deck is usually knocked down to 2, so that's really interesting as well. I'm guessing this Boba player really prepared for that control matchup in this tournament specifically. We do have the 3 Overrun Barrage, 3 Stiff S Battalion. Everything else is very, very standard. Just a couple ratio things. This deck, you're not going to see much variance in it. In these top cuts, 47 cards is usually about the same. It's kind of the golden rule I say with Boba Fett. You kind of run about 47 of the same exact cards, and you might have one personal tech choice. Going into the sideboard, though, we do see the ISB Agent, which is really interesting. Kind of take off some of those shields if that's going to be a problem for you. We got the Cell Block Guard to slow down with your Sentinels, and then, of course, you got some Change of Hearts, Reinforcement Walker, and your Shuttle. So the sideboard is really interesting. I haven't seen a sideboard Boba Fett quite like that yet, which is very, very intriguing, and those are all very good sideboard cards. So this is just a standard good Boba Fett deck.
Yeah, also let us know if this was the second place deck list or not. Let us know if anyone was at the event and they know what exactly happened at that event. So, but yeah, this list is really good. But let's go ahead and go on to the first place deck list that everybody's been waiting for, everybody's been wanting. This is pretty crazy. First place, Director Krennic Command. I know StarLight Matt has a lot to say.
Yeah, so me and StarLight Frank have been in this long debate at who's the better leader, Krennic or Iden. I always knew Iden was going to be more representative of players playing her because people just have that commonality where they think that Iden's the better leader. I actually lean to Krennic being the better leader for one reason: you come out one turn faster, and in such a fast-paced game against Boba Fett and Sabine, that one turn can be crucial. Going into this deck list, we know it's pretty standard of a Krennic deck. Of course, we do see the two main decked regional governor, which is very, very intriguing. I know this pilot knew what he was getting into. He knew the cards that other decks wanted to see, and so he felt strong enough to run these regional governors. Other than that, we see the 3 Gideon Hask. Love that card. It's one of my favorite cards in the game. And I think that card's so incredibly strong for the mid-range. Obviously, in the Krennic deck, it's even better than Rook, in my opinion. So, of course, we see those main decked. Going into else, of course, we got the Super Laser Blast at 1, the 3 OB, so we got our finishing their unit cards in addition to Power of the Dark Side. The one thing I'd say that stands about this deck than most Krennic decks is we do see the 3 Cargo Juggernaut, which is very, very intriguing. You know, dropping this on 6 for a 4/6, it's shielded, but it has no Sentinel, but it does give you 4 health if you control another Vigilance unit. And so that's very intriguing to see in the main deck. Most people do not run that card, and that is a very interesting tech choice. And it looks like it worked out pretty well for him. So just another card to get some healing off your base right there, and make sure you get to those late game cards because he is running the main deck Devastator as well, which is usually in the side deck for these decks. And then going into the sideboard, we of course see the last regional governor, so if he wants to bump it to 3, there it is. We see the 1 Rook if he does want to have access to that. 1 more of both the big ships if he's playing some kind of Iden matchup or a mirror match. And then we just have a Cell Block Guard, Snow Trooper Lieutenant just to push some more damage, and some more kind of taking out units and Vanquish and Takedown. So just a very awesome deck list. I'm super excited to see that Krennic took first place at our first big tournament for this game, and yeah, I love the list. I love it more so that it's like 47 of the same cards that I run besides the Cargo Juggernaut, so that's really cool to see too.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously he's probably been playtesting a lot, and the Cargo Juggernaut was probably really good for him to heal 4 damage, especially since you have Energy Conversion Lab, you're kind of 5 health down from normal bases, but I mean, it worked out for him. He probably knew what he was doing. Running the regional governor at main deck is pretty great. He knows cards, he knows what his opponents are going to be playing. He understands the game very much. So congrats to this person who had first place. If you're watching this, we'd love to put you on the channel, but yeah, so congrats to all these people. Congrats to Poland having the first event. We'd love to see that. We'd love to see this game expanding. 90 people at that tournament, or 90 people or more at that tournament is awesome. Let's keep the game going. But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Let us know what lists you think is good, what cards you think are good. Just let us know what you guys think in general about this top 8 Super Showdown in Poland. Thank you guys for watching. May the force be with you all.